Hello again. Today we're going to be talking about squatters' rights and what every landlord needs to know. Have you ever wondered what would happen if someone moved into your property without permission and refused to leave? For many landlords, squatters' rights and adverse possession are legal issues that they never think about until they become a very real problem. And when they do, they can be complicated, time-consuming, and potentially costly. Hi, I'm Brittany Shepherd with ASPM. We help property owners protect their investments and navigate the challenges that come with rental property ownership. Today, we're breaking down squatters' rights, explaining what adverse possession means, and discussing what landlords can do to protect their properties from these legal risks. Before we jump in, I want to add a quick disclaimer that the information in this video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. Always consult a qualified attorney regarding your specific situation and the local laws. What are squatters' rights? First, let's define a few important terms. Squatting occurs when someone occupies a property without the owner's permission. This could be a vacant home, an abandoned property, or even a rental property that isn't being actively monitored. Sometimes it can even be land. You may have also heard the term adverse possession. Adverse possession is a legal concept that, under certain circumstances, allows a squatter to eventually claim ownership of a property after occupying it for a specific period of time and meeting certain legal requirements. Now, before you panic, it's important to understand that gaining ownership through adverse possession is typically a long and difficult process. However, landlords should still be aware of these laws and how they work to avoid potential issues. Squatters' rights versus trespassing. So, one of the biggest misconceptions here among property owners is that squatting and trespassing are the same thing. They're actually very different. Trespassing is generally considered a criminal act. A trespasser enters or remains on a property without permission and can often be removed through law enforcement intervention. Squatting, on the other hand, can become a civil legal matter. While squatters initially occupy a property without permission, they may attempt to establish certain legal rights if they remain there for an extended period of time and meet specific legal criteria. In some situations, squatters may even pursue an adverse possession claim. Trespassers don't have that possibility. That's why it's so important for landlords to address unauthorized occupants quickly and follow the proper legal procedures. Requirements for adverse possession. Here they are. Although adverse possession laws vary state by state, there are several common requirements that courts typically consider. The first is hostile possession, meaning the individual occupies the property without the owner's permission. Second is actual possession. The person must physically occupy or use the property. Third is open and notorious possession. Their presence can't be hidden. The occupant must be obvious enough that anyone, including the property owner, could reasonably notice it. Fourth is exclusive possession. The squatter generally must occupy the property independently rather than sharing possession with the owner or the public. And finally, continuous possession. The individual must remain on the property continuously for a legal defined period of time without interruption. These requirements are designed to ensure that adverse possession claims are not easily granted. However, they highlight why property owners should regularly monitor and maintain their properties. Before we continue, if you're a rental property owner and want to avoid situations like squatting altogether, professional property management can make a huge difference. At ASPM, we help property owners minimize vacancies, conduct regular property oversight, and manage tenant relationships and stay compliant with landlord-tenant laws. If you'd like expert help protecting your investment and reducing your stress as a landlord, click the link in the description to schedule a free rental consultation. Now let's talk about what to do if you discover a squatter on your property. If you find someone occupying your property without permission, your first instinct may be to remove them yourself. However, that's usually not the best course of action. Avoid physical confrontation or attempting to remove the occupant on your own. Taking matters into your own hands can create legal complications and potentially open you up to liability. Instead, begin by serving a written notice to vacate the property according to your state's legal requirements. If the individual refuses to leave, you're likely in need to initiate a formal eviction process through the court system. Throughout the process, it's often wise to work with an attorney or an experienced property management company to ensure all legal procedures are followed correctly. The key is to act quickly, document everything, and follow the law every step of the way. In conclusion, squatters' rights and adverse possession can be complicated legal topics, but understanding the basics can help you better protect your rental properties and your investment. Remember, squatting and trespassing are not the same thing. Adverse possession requires specific legal criteria and typically occurs over a long period of time. Property owners should monitor their properties regularly. and address unauthorized occupants as soon as possible. Following proper legal procedures is essential when dealing with squatters. The best defense against squatting issues is staying informed, keeping properties occupied whenever possible, and working with experienced professionals who can help protect your investment. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more landlord tips and property management insights. And if you have questions about protecting your rental property, reach out to me at ASPM. I'm Brittany. We'd be happy to help. If you have first-hand experience in dealing with a squatter on your property, I'd be very interested in hearing about it. Feel free to share in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.